Okay, so one of the first things that I would like to point out here before we go over how to get a banding wheel and trim your pot top, if you take a pencil and you look at how wide your pot is, it should be roughly about the thickness of a pencil in most parts. Okay, it could be a little thinner in some, could be a little bit thicker, but for the most part you want it to be about as thick as what the width, which is this part right here, this way, of a pencil is. Okay, which mine is. So the next step is going to be trimming the pot on a banding wheel. Give me just a second to adjust. Okay, so this is a banding wheel, and whenever you pick up a banding wheel from over on the tool cart, you want to make sure that you pick it up from the bottom, because otherwise this piece here falls off. Okay, so make sure that you pick a banding wheel up from the bottom, and the last thing that you want to do is put your pot on here and spin it around. This is not to like DJ or anything like that. This is just to place your pot on there. If it wobbles around a little bit, you can tap it so it forms somewhat of a base. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use this to kind of spin it around. So you want to kind of get it centered on there, and we're going to use this to spin this around to trim the pot top. Okay? Now, you want to make sure with this that you hunker down, or that you are on your knees so that you can see your eyes are level with the pot. The next thing, or the other thing that you want to do is you want to put your elbow on the table. If you don't have your elbow on the table, it could flop around and it's going to create a crazy design in your pot. So I'm on my knees. Okay, I'm going to look at the lowest part for my pot. And what I'm going to do once I find the lowest part is elbows on the table. I'm going to hold the pot, and I'm not cutting the whole way through. Do not cut the whole way through the first time you go around, because if you make a mistake, your pot's going to become very small very quickly. So I'm just drawing a line, scribing a line in the clay. When it comes back around, that's good. You can see that it's lined up. Okay? So once it's lined up, okay, you can see that the line's lined up. Then you're going to go back through, hunker back down, elbow back on the table, and you want to you're just spinning this very slowly every time. You're adding a little bit more pressure until this comes completely off the top of the clay pot. Don't force it. If you do, you'll get kind of like a jagged rim. This piece of clay here you can throw away or turn into slip. And then you'll notice you've kind of got a little bit of extra clay here, a jagged edge. Okay, we can check the thickness of my pot. It's good. It's within the pencil width range. And then to smooth that out, what you can do is you can take a sponge, wring your sponge out, and you can kind of cup it like this, where you put your thumb in the center, fingers around the outside, and you're going to go around it to smooth that rim out. If we look at it from the top, it'll look like this. Okay, so we're going to work on getting that nice and smooth. Okay, once you get to this point, if this is really wet, you want to wait. You don't want to start to make your flat lid yet, because this will stick to your flat lid. Okay, so don't make your flat lid if you just did this. What you want to do is you want to get some clay and wedge it and get ready to make your flat lid for the next day.